Hello, how is everyone doing today? I'm Christine O'Donnell, and this is Reading the Podcast News, Reading Pod News. I am setting myself up on Instagram right now as well so that everyone can join in and participate. All right, added those details. Let's rock and roll. How about it? You ready? Cool. Oh, I did it wrong. I did it wrong, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, back to it. Reading, you know? So sometimes you have these big plans, right, for your live feeds, and then this is what happens. So, welcome to everyone on YouTube who's still hanging out with me as I get this set up, or if you are watching later, hi, I'm Christine O'Donnell. I'm an Emmy nominated TV journalist and podcast coach. And every day around 9:15 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, I the reading the pod news. And so this is based on the newsletter that is written by Pod News that everyone can sign up for, purchase, buy, and I just read it. So I see we've got someone here. Hello. Welcome to the show. Thanks for hanging out. All right, those details have been added. And we are live. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Reading the Pod News. I'm your host, Christine O'Donnell, an Emmy nominated TV journalist and podcast coach. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to be looking here and I'm going to be looking there because I am live two places. It is lovely to be here with you this fabulous Monday morning. You guys, it is the last few days of March. Can you believe it? Thursday is April Fool's Day. So if there's anybody in your life who likes to have fun and you want to prank them, this Thursday's the day. Guys, I love April Fool's Day so much. Also, like, there's so many fun things that happen in April. So many birthdays, my son's birthday, my birthday, so my sister's birthday, my uncle's birthday, just a lot of birthdays. So let's get to it. Reading the pod news. This headline here is about the Ramsay show. So I'm not sure if we've got any Ramsay show listeners here, but they have officially achieved, we've got some hearts. Thanks for sharing those hearts. They have achieved 1 billion podcast downloads, and the podcast has helped callers pay off $500 million since it began 15 years ago. So how about doing some good with your show? I feel like that is just the best. So, here, there's also some more information about a TV version of one of my favorite podcasts, Dr. Death, being filmed in Albuquerque. Does anyone here have you watched or, listened to Dr. Death? Because now they're going to be a TV show. I'm not surprised. It's like a very intense podcast. Podcast. True Native Media. This is an advertising an ad sales company. Heather, congratulations to you. She's the founder of True Native Media. I've worked with her before. She's amazing. She's also been on my podcast and dropped some real knowledge about how to grow your downloads so that you can work with advertisers. But her company has helped podcasters drive revenue from advertising and partners. And it has now doubled its ad sales team. So they are rocking and rolling. I love it when, there's this big news for female-founded companies, especially when there is all of these like bigger conglomerates being like, hey, can I buy you? Can I buy you? And she's like, I got this. So yay, way to go, Heather. Tom Webster has written. So Tom Webster, head honcho there over at Edison Research, the gold standard for podcasting data. He writes about exclusive in podcastings. And so I think that this is a super interesting thought because, as a reporter, I always prided myself in getting exclusive content. So he writes, exclusive content is exactly what I want to talk about today. You may have seen a recent study about the percentage of listeners who would pay for a podcast rather. So it was rather breathlessly reported as pay for podcast. No thanks, most listeners still say. Um, but there are some people, I want to introduce you to a sinister word that researchers do not generally use, but is typically inserted after the fact for editorial purposes. Just, or its cousin only. See how it is used in the article linked above. A new survey by YouGov and Variety finds just 16% of those surveyed said it is either very or somewhat likely that they will pay or donate money to access a podcast in the next 12 months. Um, I encourage you to mentally remove the word just from that headline and see how you process it. If 16% of podcast listeners would like to pay me $1, I could buy Taylor Swift's apartment and park my Bugatti Chiron in the garage next to the unicorn I've always wanted. Funny. You're funny, Tom. I appreciate that. So I like this idea, this conversation on exclusivity and whether or not people will pay for exclusive content. I think that there's something to this. So what do you guys think? Let me know. And when it comes to podcast monetization, these are really important conversations to have. Next up on the pod news. You guys, that's it. Really not a lot going on today. So there you have it. Last week I reported or shared how their Samsung is now has their own podcasting app. So if you would like to get your podcast on Samsung, make sure to do that. Again, it's important to have your podcast distributed everywhere. So you can test and see where people are listening. Everyone's going to be interested in content depending on how they consume it. So if Android users are the largest group of like cell phone holders in the world. So there's more Android users than iPhone users. And now they have their own exclusive app. So I would definitely get your show on Samsung if you can. All right. Thank you guys for being a part of reading the podcast news today. If you like what you heard, please drop me a like. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow with more podcast news. All right. See you later. All righty. Bye bye, YouTube.